Hi, my name is Gita Caroline Weber, and I'm in your social work 437001I class. And I'm doing my assignment now on the reality versus reality TV. And I chose to do Hoarders because I really like that show. And I looked at an old episode from the beginning. I think it was in like season 3. And it was about Janet, a couple named Janet and Herb, and their daughter Harvey. It started off with just not pictures, but videos of the house and everything that was inside of it, and the couple explaining, this is my bathroom, this is my living room, and how they function in their society. Well, in their home. Um, you soon find out later that this hoarding began when they lost their baby about 15 or 16 years ago. So it'd been going on for a long time. They lost their baby after 4 months. It had a heart defect. And so a quote that the husband uses, he lost his son and didn't want to lose anything else, and not even a bag of trash. So he just kept keeping everything. That way he didn't feel like he was losing everything, because he wasn't in control of losing his son. They also had another son. His name was Harvey, and all that time he had been living in the house with them as junk, just accumulated and constantly. And like nobody ever knew, none of their friends, family members, anyone ever knew. And so finally, while they were preparing to clean up the house, he invited one of his long time friends over from the neighborhood to see what his house actually looked like on the inside. And surprisingly, the friend took it really well. Like, he didn't really judge. Like, he wasn't like eyes big and judging his friend, because that's how his parents lived and whatnot. And he also offered to help clean up whenever they were ready to clean up. Also, you find out that in the wife Janet and the husband Herb's relationship, there was another partner as well. Her name was Wendy. She started off as Herb's co-worker, and then they just started having sexual interactions, and the wife knew about it as well, and they tried to join her in on the sexual interactions, but she wasn't comfortable with it. So she just let it go on, because she just felt like it was something that she couldn't control. Just kind of, I guess, getting back to the feeling of her son, like she couldn't control his loss or what was happening to him, so she couldn't control this either. And so now, in the process, they got evicted because of the amount of junk in their house. So now they're staying with Wendy for the time being. I really like that the show in itself brings a psychologist in, because it's it's very much needed, because a lot of times when you watch shows like this, because I binge watch sometimes, when you watch shows like this, it's very, like, stuff is very emotional. So it's emotional attachment to the trash stemming from somewhere else. And so the psychologist, just from their situation, she thinks they're suffering from PTSD because they didn't really give themselves a chance to grieve the loss of their son. So the story moves on with them cleaning up the house, and they're also, the couple, Janet and Herb, they're trying to work on their relationship as well, and Janet wants Herb to leave Wendy alone, and that means, like, not have a friendship with her or anything like that, because they're also friends as well. But Wendy shows up to help them clean up, And of course, Janet doesn't say anything about it, and she feels uncomfortable the whole time until someone speaks to Wendy, and Wendy gets upset and she leaves. And a lot of tension in the house in the process of cleaning up really just diminishes. And it's crazy to see how quickly it just happens when that one factor leaves. Also, in the process of cleaning up, the psychologist, she made Janet and Herb write letters to their dead son Gregory just to help them release, and then they said it out loud, and then they burned it. And I like that as a method of coping, because I know we do talk about that in class. So a method of coping and just like relieving stress and grief that you may have, because sometimes you just need to get stuff off your chest, and it's not easy to just talk to your loved ones or anyone for that matter about it. So that's a great way to let things go. Also, I like that this particular couple, while I was watching, they didn't really fight cleaning up. Like they let people throw stuff away. It wasn't a big fight, because usually in shows when I watch it, the people are literally cursing and fighting people tooth and nail to keep stuff that they just don't need. And so comparing this to my life, my life's nowhere near this. I think I'm cluttered sometimes, and like I go in my room sometimes and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with myself? This is messy. But it's not nearly as bad, and I hope it never gets like that. But my mom, I can kind of compare it to my mom, because my mom has, I guess, a little bit of hoarding in her. For my whole life, I guess. She just kept everything, not everything like they do, like folders and stuff like that, but she just keeps things that she thinks she's going to need. And I try to get rid of a lot since I was little, a baby. Her car has always been junky and cramped, and like as I got older and my relationship with her like kind of got worse, the junk in the car and the junk in the house and not always having space, I feel like elevated the arguments and discussions that we had, because I felt very overwhelmed by everything that was surrounding me, and then whatever was going on between us. I don't know, like, it kind of makes me think that my mom may have had something happen to her, and this is how she feels, is a way that she has to cope by keeping some things. Because I know, like, when I tried to organize her stuff or something like that, she'll get mad at me for, like, throwing stuff away or trying to organize. It just depends. But, yes, I think that's all that I have to say about it. This is one of my favorite shows. So I'm glad we did that assignment, and I'm glad that that coping technique was brought to me again, because I've seen it before. But hopefully I'll use it in the future, because I really like that idea of doing that to let things go. Thank you.